Now I'm joined by the wonderful Margaretta Darcy, who sits opposite me today. Margaretta, good morning to you.
Good morning, Keith.
How are you today? Thanks for joining us.
Good, and what a wonderful morning.
Isn't it? The sunshine is out. It's a day to escape now, so it is down to the waterside and go sunbathing. Now you're having the non-stop Connolly show with Mary Coughlan and Margaretta Darcy. You're doing this as part of Culture Night.
Yes.
So this coming Friday night, the 16th, and it's free, and you're doing it at Katie's Cladagh Cottage in up over here, Fairhill Road?
Yes. Now, Katie's Cottage, it's a lovely place. Have you been there?
I haven't, and I've been invited down a few times.
Do go there, because it's like going back to the old days.
It is, yeah.
And we'll be having it in the cottage. There'll be an open fire, the kettle, they'll have cups of tea, and it's kind of storytelling, really.
And now talk to me about the non-stop Connolly show.
Yes.
It runs from 5 to 7. What's involved in this? Because you are looking at Lillie and James Connolly.
Yes, so we'll be doing a reading for about an hour. And this is that hardly anyone knows about Lillie, the wife of James Connolly. And she spent most of the time keeping James Connolly and his revolution, taking the washing and mending clothes. And Connolly didn't know.
Really?
Yes. She was a governess, apparently, and she met Connolly in Dublin when he was had a day off from the army. And they seemed to she seemed to have been fascinated by his passion, because as soon as he met her, he began talking about socialism and changing the world. And she had never met anyone like this before. So she was the one who pulled him out from the views of the police, hid him and hid his clothes, and off they went to Scotland. He was a deserter.
Wow.
Then when he went to Scotland, he then became secretary of the Socialist Federation Party, but he didn't know how to write and he didn't know how to make speeches. So she taught him how to compose sentences in a kind of reasonable way. And she seemed to have guided him all the way through. Now, he got thrown out of that. And she said, don't worry, put an ad in the newspaper and perhaps somebody will want you. You're a good speaker. So the ad was to Dublin. He comes over to Dublin. And, of course, it's not really a socialist party. There's a member of 8. There's no money. So he gets an invitation to go to America. And he then earns money when he's in America, which he sends back to the party. And you know what the party do? They set up a pub.
all very Irish, isn't it?
All very Irish, and they don't want the paper, and so he says, "Okay, then I'm resigning." And then he decides, I might as well go back to America. There's a lot of money in America, and they want to hear Irish speakers. So himself and his wife and his 3 children, off they go to America. Of course he doesn't get paid in America. It looks as if he has a good job. She is still taking the washing. She's still taking the mending. But she does have one day off with her daughter on a picnic. And it's absolutely lovely. Wow. So Connolly then decided, I can't stay here anymore. Jim Larkin is calling for me. Off we have to go.
And back to Ireland then.
And back to Ireland. But she was in Belfast when the rising took place because she had to look after the children.
And, I mean, Mary Coughlan is joining you, Margaretta, so it'll be special to have the two of you together.
It's going to be lovely. Now, I should say about Mary, she had a heart attack last week, but she's recovered.
Has she? I didn't realise she had a heart attack. I'd love her.
I know. So you must have her on the radio. She will give you graphic descriptions of the melodramatic experience she's had, but she's going to be okay.
No.
I think it's going to be lovely. And then we'll be having ballads afterwards in the house. And then we are lifting the red flag in the name of James Connolly and proclaiming the Irish Socialist Republic. And we go down to Nimo's Pier, and I'm going to throw the Irish Constitution into the river.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we're having a revolution, we need a new constitution.
Okay, so you're going to write to the new constitution as well?
No. That has to be the collective. By the time we go through Shop Street and up to Eyre Square, perhaps we'll find out what the new constitution is. It's going to be fun anyway.
So you're going to be starting at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
In Katie's Cladagh Cottage.
Yes.
Upper Fairhill Road there.
Yes.
And it'll run until about 7 o'clock?
Yes, so at 6 the reading will be. Then we'll be having tea and songs and whatever have you. And then we'll organise And then we'll organise the Red March down to Nimo's Pier, proclaim James Connolly's Irish Socialist Women's Anarchist Republic.
And then from there, God knows where you'll end up.
And then we go up and awaken the town, singing the red flag.
Singing the red flag.
Yeah.
Well, and Mary will make it now. She will.
Oh, she will.
She might come into us on Friday morning, actually, and we'll see how she's getting on.
Okay, yeah.
We'll have our own cardiologist here to check them out, to check her out.
Check her out, yes.
Yeah, we will.
Yes. Well, we're all getting older, you know. So it's going to be 3 grandmothers. Mary's a grandmother, I'm a grandmother. And of course, don't forget Rita Ann with her inflammatory poem.
And she's going to perform that?
Yes.
I read it. It was in the City Tribune last week. I read it.
Absolutely.
She did a great job of it, I have to say.
Absolutely. And the whole thing is fun. The whole thing is revolutionary fun, or playing at being revolutionists.
You do a good job at doing it, so you do.
Will you join us?
For further details, where am I Friday night? I have the clue where I am Friday night. If I'm around at 5 o'clock, I will pop into you.
Oh, pop in and say hello to Mary anyway.
I do want to see I want to catch up with Mary.
But you know, Keith, when all the celebrations, the one thing that they have not done is celebrate James Connolly's wife, Lillie, and we know nothing about her, and we know nothing about the other wives who were there at home, keeping the things together, feeding the children.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's true. It's really.
Especially as Connolly said, he said, "Look at the slave of a slave."
Well, if they want to go along, they'll find out lots more about them this coming Friday.
Yes.
5 to 7, Margaretta Darcy, lovely to have you. Thanks for joining us.
And
today.
thank you so much, Keith.
No, anytime. The door
and
is
bring the
open.
red flag with you, anyone who's coming.
I'll bring the red flag with me. I certainly will. Thank you for joining us today on the programme.